The United States and the European Union have reached a tentative trade deal designed to ease months of growing tension. Under the framework, Washington will suspend some planned tariffs on European cars, while Brussels will reduce barriers on U.S. agricultural imports. Both sides have also agreed to cooperate on new investments in energy and technology, presenting the deal as a step toward stability in transatlantic trade. But while Europe and Japan have been quick to negotiate, Canada is taking a much slower and more cautious approach. Prime Minister Trudeau and Canadian officials argue that rushing into a deal under pressure from Washington could harm Canadian industries for years to come. They insist that trade agreements must be built on strategy and balance, not short-term political wins. President Trump, however, is signaling impatience. He has publicly warned that Canada could face tariffs on cars, energy, and consumer goods if it delays joining the new framework. According to the White House, Canada risks isolation if it doesn't move quickly. Yet Ottawa appears determined to hold its ground. The difference in strategy is striking. Europe and Japan have accepted concessions, hoping to shield their economies from US pressure. Canada, meanwhile, is playing the long game. Officials believe the US will eventually need Canadian resources and markets just as much as Canada needs American access. In other words, Canada sees leverage in patience. The economic impact inside the United States is already visible. Tariffs have raised costs for manufacturers, farmers, and consumers. In the Midwest, food processors have slowed production, some shutting down entirely as supply chains are disrupted. Auto suppliers warn that higher steel and aluminum prices are forcing layoffs. Grocery bills are climbing nationwide, adding to inflationary pressure on households. Economists caution that while the trade deal with Europe delivers short-term headlines, it does little to address the deeper costs of the tariff war. By pressuring allies into quick agreements, the US may be winning tactical victories but risking strategic losses, especially if Canada strengthens its trade ties elsewhere. Indeed, Canada is already diversifying. Ottawa is deepening relationships with Asian and Latin American markets, expanding exports of agriculture, oil, and technology to partners outside North America. This strategy reduces dependence on the US and provides Canadian businesses with alternatives if American tariffs continue. For Washington, this creates a dilemma. The administration wants to show voters that its hardline tactics are paying off, but the fallout at home tells a different story. From farms in Iowa to auto plants in Michigan, the consequences are real: higher costs, lost jobs, and growing uncertainty for both workers and consumers. In the end, this trade standoff is about more than tariffs and quotas. It is about who can endure the pressure longer. Europe and Japan chose compromise. Canada is choosing resilience. And as the US faces rising economic costs, Canada's patience may prove to be its most powerful weapon. This is True Estate Report. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.